We are here back again. I don't know why that was. It's still coming up, but whatever. Chat is difficult for this live stream. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Okay, well. No fucking use for that thing, anyways. Huh? Sure. It's not like anyone's going to see this thing, anyways. Yeah. It's more like a YouTube video, anyways. So just comment or whatever. We were going on about all this stuff, I guess. To which I think I should note it down. It'd be a kind of shame, but it's kind of I guess. And on account that no one can see this thing, but might as well just not use it, I guess. Yeah. It's kind of a pain to be using to be accounting for voice reduction when no one's seeing your video anyways, right? So it's going to be a lot windy out here, but I am going to shout, so I guess it's not like you're not going to hear my thing or anyways, so and it's not an educational video anyway, so I don't really know why I would even want to strive for something like that anyway, so yeah. So back to where we were. We were on some shadows and shit. To be honest, I have no idea what the fuck am I doing. But we are basically doing this thing where we are setting a texture map to be. We are setting a frame buffer, right, and we are setting it to be in the point of view of our light source, and we are generating a depth map from that, and we are then using that depth map to generate shadows. And that's pretty much it for we'll get into details later, to be honest. Yeah. For entering a depth map onto a chord, we use the following fragment shader. Note that there are some subtle changes when displaying depth using a perspective version matrix instead of an orthographic version matrix, as depth is non-linear when using perspective version and all that stuff. So we use an orthographic version for that, and then writing the shadows and doing all that stuff. But there had to be some bias, so that clarifies some things, I guess. And then we enable face culling for all that stuff. Okay. Oversampling. Now, another visual discrepancy which you may like or dislike is that regions outside the lights visible custom are considered to be in shadow. Well, they're usually not. This happens because projected coordinates outside the light system are higher than, say, 1.0, and thus will sample a depth texture outside its default range of 0 to 1. Because lights are high, and then this will sample a depth texture outside its default range of 0 to 1. Based on the texture wrapping method, we will get incorrect depth results, not based on the real depth values of the light source. Okay. You can see in the image that there are some sort of imaginary region of light, and a large part of outside this area is in shadow. This area represents either a depth map projected on the floor. The reason this happens is that yes, we are just depth maps Okay, we can do this by configuring a texture border color and set the depth maps texture wrap options to give glam to border. There was also this. Another thing that I want to do. Wait a second. text parameter I, real texture to texture reference, real border, text parameter I, real texture to real wrapped, texture wrapped, gram to border, flow, border color, real text parameter F, real texture to real texture border color, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Text parameter real text parameter F, what the fuck is that? No idea. All parameter event have a letter level and the result music parameter being shadow. The texture border color and set the depth maps texture wrap options to GL clamp to border. Okay. Now whenever we sample outside the depth maps range, the coordinate function will always, the texture function will always return a depth of 1 plus a shadow value of 0.0. The result now looks more plausible. This is some part of the show dark again. You are on the outside the far plane of the light's orthographic first term anyways. You can see that this dark region always occurs at the far end of the light's source. First term by looking at the shadow directions. Space projected fragment coordinate is further than the light's far plane when its C coordinate is larger than 1.0. Like the tail ground to border wrapping method doesn't work anymore as we compare the coordinates Z component with the depth value. Depth map values, this always returns true for Z larger than 1.0. The fix for this is relatively easy as we simply force the shadow value to 0.0 whenever the present matrix Z coordinate is larger than 1.2. Checking the far plane and clamping the depth map to a manually specified border and color solves the oversampling of the depth map. This finally gets a result we are looking for. Okay. The result of all this does mean that we only have shadows where the projected fragment coordinates sit inside the depth map range, so anything outside the first term will have no visible shadows. As games usually make sure this only occurs in the distance, it is a much more plausible effect than the obvious black regions I had before. The shadows right now are a nice addition to the scenery, but still not exactly as what we want. If you were to zoom in on the shadows, the resolution dependency of shadow mapping quickly becomes apparent. Because the depth map has a fixed resolution, the depth frequency usually spans more than one fragment per texel. Texel is one texture pixel. Pixel for a texture. That's called texel. So depth frequency usually spans more than one fragment, but so in a single texel there are usually more than one pixel. As for fragment, we usually mean pixels. We basically mean pixels. I don't know why did I say usually. Just there's some condition which does not. You can reduce these blocky shadows by increasing depth map resolution or by trying to fit the light first term. You can reduce these blocky shadows by increasing the depth map resolution or by trying to fit the light first term as closely to the scene as possible. Another partial solution to this jacket is called PCF, percentage closer filter. Percentage close filtering. This is a term that hosts many different filtering functions that produce softer shadows, making them appear less blocky or hard. The idea is to sample more than once from the depth map, each time with slightly different texture coordinates. The idea is to sample more than once from the depth map. The idea is to sample more than once from the depth map, each time with slightly different texture coordinates. For each individual sample, we check whether it is in shadow or not. All the sub-results are then combined and averaged, and we get a nice soft-looking shadow. The idea is to sample more than once from the depth map, each time with slightly different texture coordinates. For each individual sample, we check whether it is in shadow or not. All the sub-results are then combined or averaged, and we get something. One simple implementation of PCF is to simply sample the surrounding texels of the depth map and average the results. So that's about it, I guess. So texture size returns a vector of the width and height of the given sampler texture at bitmap level 0.1 at bitmap level 0. 1 divided over this returns the size of a single texture that we use to offset the texture coordinates, making sure each new texture samples a different depth value. Okay. Here texture size returns a vector of the width and height of the given sampler texture at bitmap level 0. 1 divided over this returns the size of a single texture that we use to offset the texture coordinates.
일동 정지! 그러니까 그 새끼는 왜 주장이 돼가지고 싸우고 다녔대? 뭐 싸운 거 아니겠지? 바코가 일방적으로 내렸겠지.
애가 좀 이상해 보이지. 그래도 바코가 우리 평화로운 거야. 바코가 우리 다 지켜주는 거거든. 그게 그러니까 연합이라고 우리 학교 근처의 학교들은 다 소속돼 있는 1층 연합이 있는데
일동 정지!
근데 이제 박쿠미는 그런 거 안 한다고 해서 팀장만 연합 소속이 안 되어 있었거든. 박쿠미 갈 때부터 연합 애들이 은장 교복만 보면 그랬었고 그거 난리도 아니었어. 그래서 박쿠민이 빡쳐가지고 연합 애들이 다 조져버리고 그때 진짜 연합 애들이 꼼짝도 못하고 그래서 박쿠민을 지키려고 그런 거야. 은장 대장이
아주 사이좋게 좀 지내세요! 병신아, 놀부 새끼, 바보 새끼. 뭐냐? 저 자리 있나 보러 왔지. 고생했다. 내 시간이 없거든. 빨리 끝내자. 야, 그럼 어디 가는데? 레이스 보려고.
백준이 형이 보고 싶다고 전해달래.
이거 봤어? 그딴 쓰레기 같은 짓거리는 너나 많이 하고 내가 이번에 정확히 알았는데 너랑 나랑은 존나 안 맞아. 씨발 내가 지금 그러니까 제발 앞으로 연락하지 말고 은장 연합이랑 붙자.
Let a nigga Brad Pitt, legend of the fall, took the year like a bandit. Bought mama a crib and a brand new wagon. Now she hit the grocery shop looking lavish. Star Trek roof in the Wraith, the girls get loose when they hear the song.
야, 이 자식아. 내가 있는데 뭔 상관이야. 쪽수고 나발이고 다 지었어.
House so empty, need a centerpiece. 20 racks a table cut from ebony. Cut that ever into skinny pieces. Then she clean up with her face, man, I love my baby. You talking money, need a hearing aid. You talking about me, I don't see the shade. Switch on my side, I take any lane. I switch on my code, if I kill any pain.
네가 말한 죄책감 있잖아. 미안하다. 너한테도 코타기랑 준태한테도.
가서 뭐해? 가자.
가자. 어쩌면 백순이한테.
야, 백순아, 너 많이 늘었다.
근데 이러라고 할 소리가 아닌데. 내가 끝내줄게. 일동 정지!
그러니까 박구 새끼는 왜 주장이 돼가지고 싸우고 다녔대. 뭐 싸운 거 아니겠지. 박구가 일방적으로 때렸겠지. 내가 좀 이상해 보이지. 그래도 박구도 우리 평화로운 거야. 박구가 우리를 다 지켜주는 거거든. 그게 그러니까 연합이라고 우리 학교 근처에 학교
So we're done with the using public version, we are done with the public version, we are completely white reserve. Because the white version is from the public, so we are done. Just a chapter. To be able to properly apply errors with the proper version for transform the non-human values to as we discussed at testing chapter. Yeah, sure. That's the only use of particle and the depth chess remain the same with graphic operation of the pattern and difference in change. 16 shows so channel competition shit, मैं पूरे टाइम ये करके लगा था. Fuck.
その子を返せ。 あんたやっぱ最高やな。
I'm not trying to ruin your fun. You're just a little bit late. I guess you're already done. It's this feeling I can't shake, 'cause I'm too dumb. I'm never doing the right thing, so I'm so stuck. If you see me in America, I might say hi. But if you meet me out in Europe, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over scouts around lunch sometime. And I've never been a friend, so it might be nuts. But I can't take this paparazzi cheese. It's like the camera's always out and always staring at me. And if I say the wrong thing, like I want to talk to them, always whipping out their pitchforks when you try to speak. That couldn't be me.
This day I'm walking the road, kicking rocks, it's my fault. My life's the worst story told. I'll be this way till I'm old. I rip a page out the book. I'm just so misunderstood. I always think about her. And when my life felt good, I smoke a cig on the porch. It doesn't help me at all. I wonder what's it all for. Is this the girl I adore? And I know I can't afford watching her walk out the door. So I keep it to myself and keep my feet on the floor.
I'm not trying to ruin your fun. You're just a little bit late. I guess you're already done. It's this feeling I can't shake, 'cause I'm too dumb. I'm never doing the right thing, so I'm so stuck. If you see me in America, I might say hi. But if you meet me out in Europe, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over scouts around lunch sometime. And I've never been a friend, so it might be nuts. But I can't take this paparazzi cheese. It's like the camera's always out and always staring at me. And if I say the wrong thing, like I want to talk to them, always whipping out their pitchforks when you try to speak. That couldn't be me.
This day I'm walking the road, kicking rocks, it's my fault. My life's the worst story told. I'll be this way till I'm old. I rip a page out the book. I'm just so misunderstood. I always think about her. And when my life felt good, I smoke a cig on the porch. It doesn't help me at all. I wonder what's it all for. Is this the girl I adore? And I know I can't afford watching her walk out the door. So I keep it to myself and keep my feet on the floor.
I'm not trying to ruin your fun. You're just a little bit late. I guess you're already done. It's this feeling I can't shake, 'cause I'm too dumb. I'm never doing the right thing, so I'm so stuck. If you see me in America, I might say hi. But if you meet me out in Europe, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over scouts around lunch sometime. And I've never been a friend, so it might be nuts. But I trying to ruin your fun. You're just a little bit late. I guess you're already done. It's this feeling I can't shake, 'cause I'm too dumb. I'm never doing the right thing, so I'm so stuck. If you see me in America, I might say hi. But if you meet me out in Europe, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over scouts around lunch sometime. And I've never been a friend, so it might be nuts. But I can't take this paparazzi cheese. It's like the camera's always out and always staring at me. And if I say the wrong thing, like I want time to live with. Always whipping out their pitchforks when you try to speak. But that couldn't be me.
This day I'm walking the road, kicking rocks, it's my fault. My life's the way story tells. I'll be this way till I'm old. I rip the page out the book. I'm just so misunderstood. I always think about her. Now when my life felt good, I smoke a cig on the porch. It doesn't help me at all. I wonder what's it all for. Is this the girl I adore? And I know I can't afford watching her walk out the door, so I keep it to myself and keep my feet on the floor.
I'm not trying to ruin your fun. You're just a little bit late. I guess you're already done. It's this feeling I can't shake, 'cause I'm too dumb. I'm never doing the right thing, so I'm so stuck. If you see me in America, I might say hi. But if you meet me out in Europe, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over scouts around lunch sometime. And I've never been a friend, so it might be nuts. But I can't take this paparazzi cheese. It's like the camera's always out and always staring at me. And if I say the wrong thing, like I want time to live with. Always whipping out their pitchforks when you try to speak. But that couldn't be me.
This day I'm walking the road, kicking rocks, it's my fault. My life's the way story tells. I'll be this way till I'm old. I rip the page out the book. I'm just so misunderstood. I always think about her. Now when my life felt good, I smoke a cig on the porch. It doesn't help me at all. I wonder what's it all for. Is this the girl I adore? And I know I can't afford watching her walk out the door, so I keep it to myself and keep my feet on the floor.
I'm not trying to ruin your fun. You're just a little bit late. I guess you're already done. It's this feeling I can't shake, 'cause I'm too dumb. I'm never doing the right thing, so I'm so stuck. If you see me in America, I might say hi. But if you meet me out in Europe, I'm a talkative guy. Maybe we'll talk over scouts around lunch sometime. And I've never been a friend, so it might be nuts. But I can't take this paparazzi cheese. It's like the camera's always out and always staring at me. And if I say the wrong thing, like I want time to live with. Always whipping out their pitchforks when you try to speak. But that couldn't be me.
This day I'm walking the road, kicking rocks, it's my fault. My life's the way story tells.
With everything set up, assigned to the actual direction of the space shadows. The procedure is similar to the directional shadow mapping chapter, although this time we bind the cube map texture instead of the 2D texture, and also pass the lights projection far plane. Also pass the light expressions far plane variable to the shaders. GL viewport, screen width, screen height. With everything set up, assigned to the actual directional shadows. The procedure is similar to the directional shadow mapping chapter, although this time we bind the cube map instead of a 2D texture, and also pass the lights, the light projections far plane variable to the shaders. Binary textures. Here the render scene function takes a few cubes in a large cube room, scattered around the light source at the center of the scene. The vertex and fragment shadow are mostly similar to the original shadow mapping shaders. The difference being that the fragment shader no longer requires a fragment position in light space, as we can now sample the depth values with a directional vector. The vertex and fragment shader are mostly similar to the original shadow mapping shaders. The difference being that the fragment shader no longer requires a fragment. Okay, here the render scene function renders a few cubes and a large cube room scattered around a light source at the center of the cube scene. At the center of the scene, the vertex and fragment shader are mostly similar to the original shadow mapping shaders. The difference being that the fragment shader no longer requires a fragment position in a light space, as we can now sample the depth values with a direction vector. The vertex and fragment shader are mostly similar to the original shadow mapping shaders. Vertex fragment shaders and original shaders. The difference being that the fragment shader no longer requires the fragment shader or fragment position in a light space, as we can now sample the depth values with a direction vector. Okay, because of this, the vertex shader doesn't need to transform its position vectors to light space, so we can remove the frag post light space vector. Okay. The fragment shader's blink for lighting model is exactly the same as we had before, with the shadow mapping, with the shadow multiplication at the end. There are a few subtle differences. The lighting code is the same, but we now have a sample cube uniform, and the shadow calculation function takes the current fragment's position as the argument instead of the fragment position in light space. Takes the current fragment's position. Also include the right first term far plane value that we later need. The biggest difference is in the content of shadow calculation function that now samples depth values from a cube map instead of a 2D texture. Let's discuss its content step by step. The first thing we need to do is to retrieve the depth of the cube map. You may remember from our cube map section of this chapter that we store the depth as the linear distance between the fragment and the light's position. We are taking a similar approach here. Shadow calculation of frag position. So frag to light is frag position minus light position. Float closest depth is the texture to depth map इस जगह पे जो डेप्थ मैप है टेक्सचर में उसका वैल्यू तो here we take the difference vector between the fragment portion and light portion and use that vector as a direction vector to sample the cube map. The direction vector doesn't need to be a vector to sample from a cube map, so there is no need to normalize it. The resulting closest depth value is the normalized depth value between the light source and its closest visible argument. The closest depth value is currently in the range 0 to 1, so we first transform it back to 0 to far plane by multiplying it far plane. Next we retrieve the depth value between the current fragment and the light source, which we can easily obtain by taking the length of the frag to light due to how calculate the depth values of the cube map. This returns the depth value in the same or larger range as closest depth. Now we can compare both depth values to see which is closer than the other, and remember the current fragment is in shadow. We also include shadow bias so we don't get shadow acne as discussed in the previous chapter. The complete shadow calculation then becomes something like this. With these shaders we already get pretty good shadows, and this time is in all the surrounding directions from the point light. With a point light position at the center of a simple scene, it will look a bit like this. You can find the source code of this demo here. Visualizing cube map depth level. If you're somewhat like me, you probably didn't get this title first try, so it makes sense to do some debugging with one of the
Since the dawn of time, man has compiled code. Ancient compilers were given to us by Mother Nature. Man tried his hand at this divine creation and barely made it out alive. Now, it's my turn to make one. Hey fellas, I invented my own programming
Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
That's so silly. Bro! Oh my lord! Can I close it and open it again? That's literally perfect for me. Yay!
Sorry, but I'm not on the menu.
That's so silly.
"それなら気にしなくていいよ。私男だし。
なんだ、それなら。え？
ギャロくん一緒に入らない？別に問題ないじゃん。
断る。
どう見ても男には見えないって。確認しとく。
お前、なんで女装してんだよ。
直近のカモが男性だったから。女性をかもるときは男装。
置かないぞ。
それならまだ戦えるぞ。歳三、やるぜよ。
You've got 30 seconds to get me a burger that looks just like this, or you have to give me your phone number.